Hi, this is Candy, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a header for your Google Classroom that's more custom and add some graphics to it. So I am going to go to start by going to Google Drive because I'm going to create it using Google Drawings, and the only way to get to that is by going to your Drive. I recommend making a folder for stuff that you just want to do for graphics for Google Classroom. So I'm going to go to my Drive. And I'm going to go ahead and click New and Google Drawings. Now, this is not the ideal size for a header, so I'm going to change. Well, first of all, I'm going to title it for my Google Classroom header, and I'll make one for my Algebra 2 with trig class. You can make a general one for all of them if you'd like. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go all the way, all the way down here to Page Setup. And instead of standard or widescreen, we're going to go to custom. And instead of inches, we're going to switch to pixels. And we're going to do this in 1600 pixels by 400 pixels. We're going to click apply, and it's going to change it so you've got more of a banner-like looking item there. And then I'm going to choose to add a rectangle over the top of it, because all those little the white and the gray, that means it's transparent, so it really would show up as a blank behind anything. So I'm going to add a rectangle to the top. It's always going to default to that blue color, so you want to click on the paint bucket, and you can just change it to any solid color. I recommend doing something really bright because Google Classroom will add like this black or kind of gray transparent layer over the top of everything. So if you want, it could be as simple as that and start throwing graphics on it. If you want it to look a little bit more fancy, I would come over here to gradient, and you can literally just choose one of the ones they have. And again, bright, or you could make your own custom one. So let's say I'm going to customize this. Maybe I'm starting with that green color. I can change this color on the end to whatever color I want it to end at. Or along the way, I could say I want to add more stops to the gradient. So I'm going to add another stop maybe here. And I'm going to change its color. And I'm going to come down to custom. I know we can't see it right now. And I'm going to pick another color. Maybe I want to go more that color in there. Click OK. You can kind of see it's changing a little bit. I'm going to add another stop. Maybe instead of stopping at green, maybe I'm going to start going maybe a little bit yellow. Again, I want it to be something that's bright. And I can change the transparency of it if I want a little bit there just to play with the color. And then I'm going to go back to this end one here, and maybe I want it to be a super bright yellow. And see, now I've got that gradient going, and I can choose the angle of my gradient, so I can switch it around if I don't want it to be just at 90 degrees. I can also make it radial, so it looks a little bit more like that tie-dyed effect. So I'm going to go back to linear, and I'm just going to go to, let's see what 270 looks. Oh, that's just upside down. That looks good. So I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to click OK. Now we want to put some words on there. Remember, when you're doing, you're in Google Classroom, the Google Classroom will automatically in white add a title, some information here. It's got your class title, and then it has a Google Meets link. So you kind of want to avoid putting anything in this corner because it'll be right, words or pictures will be right on underneath the words that Google Classroom automatically puts there. So I'm going to add a text box. And I'm just going to go Algebra 2 with trigonometry. And I'm going to choose whatever font I want. And I'm going to blow it up, make it bigger. All right, that's probably too big. So let's try like 48. Depends on how much you want this stacked. Maybe I'm going to leave it stacked today. And I'm going to go change this to, I'm going to change it to a white, probably because I can probably see it better than the black. If I was on black, maybe I would change it to yellow. It's a good color. And then notice I'm kind of putting in the middle, but I'm trying to avoid this section over here. Maybe I'll off center just a little because there's actually two places where your banner comes up that you want to consider. Now, I'm going to grab some graphics, and you can grab any graphics you want. If you haven't checked out the Noun project or Flat Icon for icons and little tiny pictures, those are great places to go. But I'm just going to choose to put a Bitmoji on it. So I'm going to grab my Bitmoji extension, and I'm going to choose a Bitmoji. I'm just going to grab this one here where I'm waving. And when you try to get a Bitmoji out of here to put on anything, you right click and copy image. And then you can right click and paste or hit Control V, and there's my little Bitmoji. Now, if I put it way over here, when I look at my header in the classroom page where they have all their classes listed, you won't see the little Bitmoji. So, or the little graphic that's there. So if you want to be able to see it on that initial screen, you got to kind of move it more towards the center, okay? And then what I have to do is I have to turn this into either a JPEG or a PNG file. So I'm going to come over here to File, and I'm going to go Download, and I'm going to choose PNG, and that's going to put it. Sorry, my webcam keeps getting in the way. Down here in the in your Downloads bar. So now I'm going to go back to Google Classroom. So I'm going to go to my neck. I'm going to grab another page, Google page. I'm going to grab my Classroom page. Down here. And I'm going to choose the Google Classroom I want to put it in. I'm going to put it in my Algebra 2 Trig class. And I'm going to grab Upload Photo. And I'm just going to come right from my download bar and drag it in there. And I'm going to expand it so you can see everything that we made there. And I'm going to hit Select Class Theme. It's going to work its magic. And there it is. And you see how it's kind of grayed out a little bit. So it's not quite as bright as what I had it in there originally. And then you'll notice, let's go back to my classes page, that see my Bitmoji is almost cut off. I really probably need to go back and center it a little bit more. I probably need to bring this font down a little bit so it's not running into it, but it's kind of trial and error. So I'm going to go back and do that real quick just so you can see that you can fix it. So I'm going to kind of come this way a little bit more. I'm going to come this way with my waving Bitmoji. I'm going to go File, Download PNG. I'm going to go back to my Google Classroom. I got to click into it, Upload Photo. And I'm going to bring that guy in there. I'm going to expand it again. There we go. Select Class Theme. All right, let's go back and look at the, oh, see now it's blocking there. So it depends on where you want it to block. So I might have to mess with it more, but at least here you can kind of see it a little bit better. And then we can still see these. And again, handy tip, I would go back and change your classes to have the period number in front of the class title.